The bottom line is you just don't go push the button and put a rocket in space because it's like a federal crime. It's, you know, it's like
airspace and all that.
5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. So you don't really want to go push the button.
Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion and the beautiful Katie, and we are in, well, basically Bloomington, Minnesota, and we are here to meet a very interesting man with a great story and a great house. Daze with Jordan the Lion and you all. It begins right now. Katie and I were out, had a little bit of time to travel around the US, and we had heard about this for a while. I contacted the guy and he said that we were more than welcome to come out. And when we read about what this house looks like inside and his story, it was kind of mind-blowing. I mean, he has like 70-something records.
Records, autographs, even a dinosaur is in this place. You never really know what you're going to see at any corner.
And when I say records, I don't mean like records on the wall. I mean, he has land speed records because he's a racer, stunt man. He was the very first person, I believe he said, to receive the ability to launch a rocket as a private citizen. Yeah, and did it. So let's go meet Kai. People know him by that rocket you saw out front, and it's called the Rocketman House because he's the Rocket Man. Look for this Spanish colonial place right in the middle of Minneapolis, and you know there's a story behind it. Welcome to the Rocketman House. Even his flagpole is a rocket. Gotta love it. And I love that he has this bell up here up top. Look at the sconces. So you are Kai, you are the legend that created this house, but you have so many stories that I read. I didn't want to get anything wrong. Can you tell us a little bit of your life story?
Well, I don't know exactly where to start, but let's start back when I was like 16 years old. I dropped out of school, and I always hung around with guys who were much older than me, 3-4 years old than I, and consequently I got into racing at a very young age. And I painted a house and got like $13 for painting the house. I bought myself a nice 33 Ford 3-window coupe, tore the fenders off it, primed it, waited for my parents to go out of town, and drove through the side. I didn't have no driver's license, no exhaust. Made it up to Twin City Speedway, and I came in all ready to race, and they asked me how old I was. I told them I was way too young. And I said, "You gotta be kidding." I said, "I dreamed for this day." And the owner of the track, Don Vogt, came over and says, "Is there some kind of trouble here?" And I says, "Oh man, I want to race here so bad, but I don't." He handed me a clipboard. He says, "Write a letter from your mother and sign it." So consequently, I got into racing at a young age. And I went from there to motorcycles, to dragsters, Top Gas, that one to Top Fuel. And one day I decided I want to go really fast. And at that point we built a rocket-powered car. And right off the bat we went out and set every track we ran at, we would set a record at. And we were first to run 300 miles an hour in a quarter mile, first to run 4 seconds in a quarter mile. That got me really going. I got to thinking, you know, let's try and set a land speed record in every state in the United States.
Yeah.
So that was, you know, so that was a challenge, but we ended up setting 72 state, national, and international records, you know, for ET and miles per hour. Then I started thinking about, I wonder if any civilians ever put a rocket into space. So that got me really fired up. It took a number of years before we were able to do that, but, you know, a guy who dropped out of school. One thing, I was a really good organizer, and I knew how to put together teams, and we started the civilian space exploration team, put together a few of our friends and dedicated friends, and built that rocket, got it approved, put it into space, 72 miles up, 3,580 miles an hour. But that's probably my proudest moment that when we put that rocket in space.
That's amazing. I mean, on top of everything else you'd already done, that's an incredible, I mean, everything you did, you risk your life, but that one could have been really bad.
Well, you know, so the kind of, I got into the film industry through kind of like the back door. When I was racing rocket cars, I went out to the West Coast and rented a spot up there at Tarzana in a shop. And one day the stunt guy comes in there with a catapult. And he says, "Can you weld this up for me?" I says, "Who built this piece of junk?" He says, "What do you mean piece of junk?" I says, they should be done all with aerospace hardware and braided lines." She says, "What, can you build one?" I says, "Sure." And before you know it, I'm building that. And then I get involved with Dar Rams and Kitty O'Neill and some of the top stunt people out there. And all of a sudden, I'm on a movie set. Wow, now I go get my explosive license, so now I can do special effects. Now, before you know it, I'm doing stunt work and then a stunt coordinator, and I just slid into the business. But I've got memories in the film industry that you can't buy. But everything we did was either worked or you're dead. You were no Band-Aids, no nothing, because everything that we did was way out there, and it would kill you if it did not work.
Can you tell us some of the stunts that you would do, that you've done, that people would maybe recognize?
Well, when I was involved with Dar Robinson, he was an incredible stuntman, all-around stunt guy. And, we jumped off the CN Tower, which is 1,200 feet, free-fall with the 1/8-inch cable, drove a car to the Grand Canyon at 90 miles an hour. I mean, Dar set the high fall record at over 300 feet. But everything we did set records, kind of like when I was in stunt business, to set records, and we ended up setting like over 30, well over 30 records in the stunt business. Like I say, if they didn't work, you'd get killed. I did some wing walking, which was fun.
Whoa!
And I lit myself on fire, rolled over cars, and did all the crazy stuff like that. But to be able to work with people like Dar Robinson and Kitty O'Neill was definitely a feather in my hat. Good times.
That's amazing, because as we kind of looked around, you have signed photos of all these people, and you're like, yeah, I knew all these people. And then on top of all your records and your ingenuity of actually getting to go to space, then you built this house that is its own attraction. People are constantly showing up, talking about it online. What inspired this?
Well,
or how did you have time?
My house, this house here is my life, and I built it kind of like a man cave. It could be a woman cave too, either way. But there's another one like this, that's for sure. Because as I built this, I really didn't design the whole thing. I just kept adding to it and adding to it. Oh, I need this or I need that. Before you know it, it's kind of gluing on different parts of this place. But there's a lot of square footage, and to be able to have a swimming pool in the house, and
and
anything and everything you want is in this house, I'm just going to tell you.
And talk about conversation pieces when you first walk in. All these different beer-powered
beer-powered motorcycles.
Yeah, I mean, and just talk about getting people to ask some questions. That's the best room in the world for it.
Well, you look at those pictures on the wall. Just about everyone, there's a story behind it. If you met me at a bar and I started telling you all the things that I've done through it, you could never comprehend it. You just can't comprehend it. Some days I sit and I look up, I'm going, oh my, how did I ever pull, wow, I'm still alive. I start thinking about things in the past that happened, it just blows me away.
How long have you been working on this house?
Well, I've been in here for over 55 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I've been here for a long time, yeah.
And has it ever stopped? Have you ever are you now, do you consider it finished now? Or is there always room for...
there's always going to be something I want to do around here. Yeah, there's always, I want to build a few more rockets for outside of this place, actually. Yeah.
Now, my channel is based around traveling and everything, but I do a lot of wrestling content. You noticed I was wearing an NWA hoodie, and you're like, oh, I knew Eddie Sharkey, and I knew,
sure.
Medusa.
Yeah, I knew all.
You said you got Medusa in the business.
Yeah, right. I got Medusa in the business. Yeah, she just got into the Hall of Fame. I was with her here last year out to Don Gartless's place. We were doing a show out there.
Oh, cool. She goes also by Alundra Blaze for some people, and you were saying that you used to edit promos for the wrestlers in this house, which I thought was super cool.
Downstairs I had all that. But so I got to know a lot of the wrestlers. Did some promotion of some of the guys, and so I was just thinking about a story with Eddie Sharkey. So back in the days when these guys are all cutting each other with razor blades and all that, and then they started getting scared of AIDS and stuff. So I says to Eddie, wow, instead of doing that, man, there's really a chance that somebody's going to get hurt or sick really bad. I says, I work in the film business, do special effects. There's a thing called AB blood, where two chemicals come together and they turn into blood. He said, oh, really? I said, yeah. You should put put a cup in each pole, and one guy smears some on his forehead, and the other guy hit him. Before you know, he got blood. Oh, that's kind of, I don't know if that's cool. I said, no, it really is cool. So that night, he's refereeing a match, and the Road Warriors, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And so he's going to show me what real blood is. And, he goes, rip. Well, he cut him so hard, so bad that he actually had to be taken away in an ambulance. So it come time to paying out the guys' scene he was promoting. It says, well, guys, it's cost me $700. I really don't have any money for the payout.
Oh man!
But anyways, true story. Eddie probably wouldn't like me.
Now, and you know it must have been bad because back in those days, if they cut themselves, a lot of guys, even if they should go to get help, they just put some super glue on it and hope for the best. So, wow.
But anyways, I have 1,000 stories like that. It goes on and on and on and on and on. But I'm really a blessed guy.
And not only blessed, I guess you're willing to share it with people that are curious.
Yes. And how all that all came about, I knew a guy by the name of Nudie. A guy on the West Coast. Nudie Cone, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I have those big horns that are around here and his mandolin downstairs.
I'm a huge Nudie fan.
That's Nudie. Well, he was a friend of mine, and I enjoyed when I'd go in there, and he'd be sitting in his rocking chair. And, guys, Tony Kurz, all these guys would come in, hey, Nudie, how you doing? So I kind of perceived myself as a great way to finish off your life. I was going to get like a small building down further on, put a coffee shop in it, give free coffee, but put all my stuff in there.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had a lot more than that. And, I said, I really don't like to leave my house when I'm in town because it's kind of my world. I shut the door here. I'm in my own little world here. So I thought, it'd be just neat to do it all in my house.
Yeah.
And we've had thousands of people come through. One time we put a sign out on a Sunday, come and meet the Rocket Man, and put a jug there to throw money in. That we're going to donate to my grandson, actually. And geez, they dropped like $3,000 in that glass jar.
That's so cool.
But anyways,
so you're not like the local legend here that people.
Lots of rumors, lots of talk all the time about my place. I love seeing on Facebook what people think.
Well, you'll definitely see a lot of comments on my channel from this because I know people are going to love it. We're going to show around your house, and is there anything that you haven't accomplished yet that is still on your agenda?
To be honest, I can't think of anything at the moment. Yeah.
That's got to feel great to know that you've done a lot of stuff that, because you have a pretty big imagination, I can tell just by looking around.
Thing, it's like when I worked with Dar and these guys, their life is in my hands, and the stress of that is crazy. And the last thing that we got involved, the big project, was the jump over the Snake River with Eddie Braun. Well, we made
the recreation of the Evil Knievel.
We got involved in that project, and we did the recovery and all that. And to see Eddie get shot up, man, oh my God, nice guy. I've known him since he was 18 years old. And here's another guy's life that's in our hands. I'm almost 80 years old when that happened. I just can't handle any more of this stuff. But I'm 85 right now. I'm still cooking. We're involved in racing motorcycles here. And
if people come to town, are they allowed to find you on Facebook?
Yeah,
or?
Sure. Yeah, just kind of look us up. And
Rocketman.
If we're around, I'll be more than glad to show them around.
Something that we're building. But, eventually we end caps welded there and which are down there, and we're working on the valve in here, and the hydraulic arms, so I'll turn the throttle valve. We're working on the brakes right now, but this will eventually be steam powered.
Steam powered. It's amazing. How many different things have you made motorcycles that could be powered by, like we were talking about, beer and steam?
Yeah, he's made a lot of different stuff. I mean, everything from rocket power canoes to rocket power toilets, motorcycles to rocket belts, anything that can be rocket powered, we've done. Even flown coffins, flown full-size Mini Cooper, a full-size outhouse, all kinds of stuff.
Has there ever been anything you guys have been challenged to do that you couldn't accomplish?
I mean, put enough thrust behind anything, it'll fly. So it doesn't really matter.
That's a great answer.
Anything will fly with enough thrust.
So you're showing us you have a couple of cars down. Well, a couple of things down here that have stories about them. What's the story behind these?
Yeah, so this red car is Kitty O'Neill's world's fastest quarter mile car. This went 412 miles an hour, 3.22 seconds. And so that was driven by a deaf stunt woman, Kitty O'Neill. She was Wonder Woman's double and did all kinds of really cool stuff, including she drove a boat like 296 miles an hour. She water skied 109 miles an hour. She did all kinds of really cool stuff over the years. And so that's that car that we have. It's hydrogen peroxide powered and was driven way back. And this is a car that I'm slowly working on here. This will be steam powered. And so we just heat up 56 gallons of water, or Red Bull or coffee or whoever wants to sponsor us.
You can run it on Red Bull, you said?
Anything, so anything that can be, that's water and that's liquid. And these are the throttle valves down here. So we have two huge ball valves. They're stainless steel, and so we have to make the nozzle and the tank, and that's good. And then in 2016, we recreated Evil Knievel's jump over the Snake River Canyon, and that was also steam powered, just water powered, and that went 0 to 439 miles an hour, 3.9 seconds with a person. And then over the Snake River Canyon, and we did something like Evil Knievel couldn't do, and he controlled his own parachutes and everything, and it landed. But Eddie Braun drove that, and it came on a movie in last year, 2 years ago, called Stuntman on Disney Plus.
Yeah, rockets on the deck.
It was a jet sled, and we went across the northwest angle.
On a jet sled, they have a rocket on the
40
roof.
miles on this little, the guy came, a YouTuber came. He built this over the weekend.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
But there's a really cool YouTube video by Lewis Wise. He's just a scientist. That's a Baleosaurus. That's a dinosaur. So
That's the actual dinosaur you guys have, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a dinosaur. It's like when crocodiles return to whales, and I don't know.
How long have you had it?
Like a year and a half or so.
That's very cool.
And then that's a real Brachiosaurus femur bone. It's like 250 pounds. And if you want to like that, that's dinosaur poop.
Oh my gosh.
That's dinosaur poop.
Yep. Just because. And then here's a cool meteorite. You can feel the weight of it.
Oh wow, that is really heavy.
They're really heavy. And there's a dinosaur egg and saber-tooth tiger skull and bear claw and turtle hand, Mosasaurus jawbone, and megalodon tooth and amber, and then there's ammonites and dinosaur vertebrae way down the bottom.
Sweet. Wow, you guys do collect a little bit of everything.
It's cool stuff. Trilobites and just different stuff. We just like different stuff. But then there's different trophies that he's won over the years.
I looked up and looked
Yeah, I'm seeing all these racing trophies.
Yeah. These are some of the act. I went through them a couple years ago. And retightened all the screws and restained everything.
Wow.
The ones the squirrels came after.
Look at all of these.
We have a walnut tree, so they love our,
Oh my
they love
god.
our axe sometimes.
This is really cool. It's cool. There's like a statue of Kai right there.
Yeah, bronze statue. We made a few of those, the cords and stuff. Here's a nitro-powered gun that we built. It's a nitro motor that spins a generator that creates electricity, and then goes to those glow plugs, and then you can put black powder and whatever else you want down here. And then here we built a nitro-powered pencil sharpener, so you can sharpen a pencil in your hand in a tenth of a second. And we like these different Sterling motors that do kind of cool stuff. We have them all over the place, like create electricity and stuff. And then here's a cool like blunderbuss kind of gun that we built. It's a flintlock gun with a. We welded this. We just took sheet metal and then welded this all, sanded in. It's cool. And then a few years ago, our last space shot rocket, we sent yeast into space for Nikasi, and then they made this beer called Ground Control. And so that's been in space, the yeast, which is kind of cool. Big into the telescopes, and our whole family's big into space, and so he built this. You look into the mirror and it shines down and looks up. And so it's a cool all polished, all metal telescope that he built, and this is a cool cannon that we built, and this whole frame and stuff, and shoot shotgun shells on the back, which is cool. And then here,
That Marilyn Monroe back there.
yeah, and then we
Bedroom with a carousel in it. I love it. Furniture's great. Oh yeah, that is a heart-shaped bed. I didn't notice it from the side, but that's, and I love that you have a even one of the guns over here beside it in case you need it.
Yeah.
But not only a heart-shaped bed, but heart-shaped tub in here.
Original to the house?
No, he built this house.
Oh, neat. I love it. Even some stained glass. That is very nice. That is very nice. I love it. Even an old school telephone. And a pretty fancy, cool mirror over top. He's got these all over the house, kind of like embedded into the walls. He's got these cool gates that take you all over the house. Stained glass you can see through there. And then all of his inventions and creations. That's his steamliner with their logo on it. You can ride that. Michaelson is his name. So Michaelson motorcycle. That's a jetpack. And his son Buddy was telling us that he actually flew in that when he was 7 years old. Just like the Rocketeer. And then this one is a gyroscope. The blade is right there. I think that's what he called it. Gyrocopter. It's a motorcycle that has a blade on top. So this motorcycle was what he built. It was for the human fly. He was going to attempt to jump like 30 buses in Montreal, and they commissioned Kai to make this bike. He said that it probably would have worked, except the designs that they made for the landing were not what they showed him, and it was a different landing. So that's a drag bike, but it's a 1972 with a toilet seat. You can actually race that, and they have. Then over here is another go-kart, another jetpack, and then this is part of the rocket that Kai launched into the atmosphere in. Right here's a robot over here that they created with the Rocketeer mask on it. And then another helicopter they created. All these things actually work. How cool is that? This one runs on a beer keg. No way, what? He said Prince was here?
You'll have to ask him for that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let's go.
We'll come down first. Keep coming down.
Let's go down the stairs. Oh, wow. The
That his
chairs.
dad built like upstairs. It's kind of his. But his dad built that back in the 50s. It's cool.
Wow, what a great themed room.
Yeah. Our friend went to Africa and brought this back. This is like a spear that some 14-year-old built that killed this lion to get to
Holy
be a
cow.
Maasai or whatever, or to be in the tribe or whatever. You have to kill a lion with the spear. And so he brought that back for us. That came out. It was kind of cool.
Wow.
Wow, all kinds of stuff back here.
Which is like
that brings good luck and wonderful things like that to you.
No, it's funny because we were this guy who went to Africa. He's like in his 40s or whatever, and so he's from a small town. My dad's from Zimbrota, which is like a small town, like the hour or two south of here. Mm-hmm. And then his family happened to be from the same town, and we were going through articles after he brought the spear back, and it said, because my family used to have like a big gun collection, like 400 guns, like back in like the 1920s or whatever, and so there's a thing where it says A.E. Michaelson, my grandpa, and someone brought the name and the things in his collection or whatever, and he said one of them was a spear brought him back from Yavisakar, which is his family So basically, his family brought my family a spear back in like the 1930s.
It goes
and we
way
didn't
Oh,
back.
wow.
And we didn't even know it. And he brought us a spear, and we were looking at the records.
Wow.
And we saw like, wait, isn't this your last name? He was like, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a news article with your last name, our last name in it. And he's like, yeah,
That
which
is
is crazy.
crazy.
It was just fun. It was crazy how like the spears
Yeah, no
from a different
kidding.
family.
What a cool coffee table.
Nose cone, tip-off, Warner, Von Braun's, Jupiter, Sea Rocket.
Oh, you said these all flew in space?
Yeah. So those are cigarettes that flew in space, and there's some Russian space gloves, and then nose cone, and then next to is a brain off of E-2 rocket that was captured at a German concentration camp. And then there's a Nike missile motor and some other cool stuff, and the Russian G4 suit over there. And
Wow. A G-force suit. Wow.
for like really high altitude. So if you don't have that, you're just turned into a balloon, you know, because there's less air up there. And so
Yeah, that's just not something you see every day.
No. That's cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
We have a big Super Bowl party every year, and so
Oh, wow, I guess.
like 200 to 300 people every year. Yeah. Like 22 TVs throughout the house. So
I love what you guys did with the ceiling. That's great.
Yeah. Blender.
Blender?
And then
Weed
the
whacker?
handle is the throttle.
Oh, wow. So that's your blender for making drinks for the...
The windshield.
Wow. Yeah, you got the... That's right. The windshield's right there. There's the throttle.
Yeah. We have our family's trunk. They came over from Norway.
Oh, no kidding. That's your family trunk from when they came over from Norway.
And there's a. This is cool. This is how we. It's a blender. It's a.
that a
I mean,
cake
sorry.
system?
Yeah, it's a cake system.
Wow.
So we took a motorcycle motor and we just bored the cylinders down. That's the. Like,
Oh,
spear
wow.
right
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you put murals up on the walls and everything?
Yeah, that was painted back in the 90s in the house. And those are all cool bricks. And it's actually a hot tub in the pool. I just haven't. Got some work to do, but.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a hot tub. There's a waterfalls that come down in here. We just put chairs for Super Bowls.
Oh wow.
This would be an amazing place to see the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's fun. It's for our friends that don't care about football and they have nothing to do, so they just come here and they see what we've been working on.
That's my.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't do any sports, so it's a day that we have nothing going. So this is our 31st annual, so we've been doing it for a long time.
And I love that you lined like the pool with different handprints that you guys have. You had like
yeah,
all
so
the...
those are all stuntmen from over the years that we got from the Stuntman's Hall of Fame. There's like 80 of them throughout the house. There's
That broken one is David Prowse, right?
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, that's his. But there's some really cool ones around if you look. But they're all stuntmen from back from the 70s and 80s before there was any CGI or anything. So. So the elevator up here and then the waterfall from the spigot that goes across the pool. It's a weird.
Jackie
I
Cooper.
work on New Peter.
You can see there's more over there. Yeah, and I was gonna say, knowing you guys, there's never a situation where you're concerned about the pool not being warm enough because you probably have something rigged up to warm it up. There's an alligator right there. I love the parrot up there with the pirate hat. They did a great job decorating this place.
It's a fun hangout spot in the morning.
These are the ones you've been affiliated with. Yeah, and that's the one we saw the car for.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's not man, that's the evil spirit. Our family band like the friction clutch for motorcycles and 2-speed transmission and mufflers for motorcycles and all kinds of really other cool stuff. And then their family have a Michaelson Minneapolis motorcycles from 1908 to 1916, so there's the Michaelson motor.
So it just goes back, the whole family
Yeah.
lineage goes back to
Yeah.
motorcycles and engines.
Many generations. Yeah, there's like Buddy Hackett's footprints and Danny Costa and Linda Blair from the Appalachia. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Robinson doubled for the Iceman. And Dar's footprints are right here. Come on up to the upper part of here. Back in 2014, this is the camera, the GoPro, that's 73 miles up. I founded the Civilian Space Exploration Team, and a bunch of us guys got together and put the first rocket up in 2004, and in 2014 we came back again.
How hard was that to get approved for something like
working with the
that?
federal government, and now it's pretty easy, but back then, we were the very first.
Yeah.
And out through that office, and we ended up dealing and working with a number of federal agencies and stuff like that, and it became very complicated. The bottom line is we just don't go push the button and put a rocket into space because it's like a federal crime. It's, you know, it's like
airspace and all that.
5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. So you don't really want to go push the button.
But as a person who has made their living in stunts and doing crazy things, did you have any fear when you did that first moment?
Well, actually, before that we blew a few rockets up also.
Oh, wow.
There's a big thing behind, a lot of things behind that. But we were first to get issued. You know, we did an environmental impact study. We had to get the bonding and insurance. A number of federal agencies we had to go through. It was tough. But now you can just go online, get an official form, fill it out, and start working with the government. Back then, they didn't even have an official form, so it was kind of tough. Yeah.
Wow.
But you know, one of the proudest moments of my life when we were able to do that. That's for sure. Yeah. So that's the camera stuff that we shot. It was actually it's a GoPro inside of that case. And this here has been on the moon. These are tickites that came out of Buzz Aldrin's collection. Some of the first food that was flown in outer space. Eye drops that's gone around the moon. You know, just odds and ends of things. I've got more that's put away in my collection of space.
Yeah, you got somebody's underwear over here on the wall.
Yeah, we actually we did a thing with Joe Boxer. We took a pair of Russian underwear and Joe Boxer underwear and launched it in the. And it was a heck of a promo deal. He was so happy with all the exposure he got from this, from the number of magazines, that he threw a party right out in the middle of the desert and dropped over $100,000 at a one-night party. Heck of a character. You come in here and look on the walls, and you'll see.
Wow, you have met some people.
So I met 5 of the Moonwalkers, which is pretty cool. And over here is a lot of the old timers, the real movie stars.
Gary Cooper.
So I knew George Burns, I know Tony Curtis, Rock Hudson,
Vincent Price,
Roy Rogers. Oh man! So up on top there, you can see that that lock.
Yeah.
That's actually off of Marilyn Monroe's gates to her house. And I used to have the gates here around my garbage cans, and I ended up selling them to Bill Mack. And before I got him, I kept that one lock off of it as a memento to it.
There's Willie Nelson, John Wayne, Tom Selleck.
A friend of mine was his bodyguard.
Jack Nicholson, Prince. Yeah, I heard you had Prince out here.
Yeah, I knew Prince. I actually taught Prince how to do a high fall into an airbag. This is the steering arm off a Saturn V. This thing weighs almost 400 pounds. That's just for steering the rocket engine. You can just see how big this thing was.
Yeah.
It's a pretty hefty piece of hardware to lift. I was Katie's legal guardian. She set a number of world records in the cars that I built and stuff like that. And you can go onto YouTube and see a number of things that she accomplished. The very first TV that I had, and it had a magnifying glass that would pull out and go up to like a 6-inch. It's called a Pilot TV. We had the very first television in 1948. And I used to charge kids in the neighborhood 5 cents to come over and look at my TV. And, you know, about the only thing was on, wrestling was on, and rodeos and stuff like that, and a lot of country western stuff.
Your coffee maker?
It'll warm up. It'll take a second. But yeah, you can. Anyways, it takes like 10 seconds to warm the coffee and like 20 minutes to cool it off. Like it's actually
Oh
boiling.
yeah, it's totally boiling.
But if you, it's very warm. But anyways, yeah, you got the spigot over there and whatever.
So we are gonna call it a day. I've actually been invited to come back. Here's some more stories, so we will be back in the future. And if you're in the area, make sure you stop by here, because where else can you see something like this that you could fly through the air in that actually works? Or, like we said, a motorcycle powered by beer. Thank you all for watching from the Rocketman House, and goodbye.